One eternity later.
Alright, welcome to another episode of the Black Codes Podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Gwynn. I'm one piece of the Black Codes puzzle. I'm very excited about the guest that we have today. It's been a minute. Obviously, y'all haven't seen us since the pandemic, and so it's been a time since we've been able to get some of the guests that we wanted for you all. But we have a very special guest today. I have had the pleasure of knowing this man for probably about 2 years. Obviously between chat, Slack channel, and all that stuff. But meeting in person, we were able to teach together at Pivot Tech. He is a data analyst and just a savant when it comes to information. Ladies and gentlemen, Sekou Tyler.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, hyping me up, man. Hyping me up.
It's real. It's real. And like to talk, something about our time together when we was at Pivot Tech, it was introducing, beginner class and training. And at that point, you were, Power BI?
Yeah, I was Power BI at that time. Full time, actually, yeah. Well, I was working at Ryder, and I was Power BI at that time, and that was the focus. And that was the first class we were going to teach was Power BI. So
yeah. And it was like, man, was that coming up with curriculum? And I think from that point, you were already in the community, like as far as the Black Codes, but like getting to know you further as far as like how you taught and what you taught. It was a lot of introductory stuff, but it seemed to flow very well as far as like the students, because I think at that point, like most of them was like, hey, we want data, but we just didn't know where to get started at.
Yeah.
Like, was that your first time as far as like teaching experience?
Yeah, so that's my first time teaching. I've been doing workshops. So within the Microsoft community, there was this thing called Past Summit where they would have SQL Saturday. And it was 100% free workshops, and the leaders of the Microsoft community would come in and they would do an hour-long workshop. So that was kind of how you got your name out there. Like you would hit all the SQL Saturdays. It would be like SQL Saturday Nashville, SQL Saturday Atlanta, SQL Saturday Florida, or what have you. And they would give out free content. So from there, it was kind of like, all right, what do you want to teach? Do you want to teach beginner level audience, intermediate, or advanced? So my bread and butter was beginner. Yeah. So I started thinking about, like, all right, how can I teach the stuff that I know to a beginner level audience? So when the opportunity with Pivot Tech came up, I was like, I got stuff there. It might not be in a course, but let me see if I can make this out to an actual course, and it just it was easily transfer.
Yeah, and I still appreciate that time for us to kind of in a way experiment because obviously coming before that moment, we had always been teaching ourselves and then constantly learning. But I think that was really a springboard as far as like, this is how I test what I really know and what's going on.
Yeah, no, that was part of the challenge when I was like, man, I want to teach. It was like, am I really that good? Like, let me see, how good am I? Like, can I teach this stuff? Okay, I think I know it. I could do it. I can have it for a job, but like, you're really good if you can teach it and your students can grasp it. So that was the personal challenge for myself as well.
Yeah, how did you feel like going through, like even the process of teaching, and were there things that you saw the students pick up on that you had never like kind of gathered before?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing I learned is analogies and how to pick it up and how can you make these complex ideologies, things that are technically driven from people who have no background to where they can relate to it. Yeah. So it's like, how can I make this in like the most common terms to where they can pick it up? And that's where I had fun with it. I had fun with the process of trying to figure out like, all right, how can I, like, if they're doing something with NBA stats, right, how can I make these sports analogies to where I can pick it up? Or if I'm doing something with restaurant industry, because my students have restaurants, like how can I get it in their language?
I think I remember that project you did. Was it the Lakers?
Yeah, it was the Lakers. Yeah, it was the Lakers. It was like, Kobe Bryant. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was dope. I think it's exactly like you said, the ability to give multiple perspectives to your students and just let them pick up which one works best for them and run with it. And like, I think you've always had because you had a passion for data, then the gift of automatically, like if if you don't understand it this way,
Yeah.
let me tell it to
Let
you.
me see
So
how can I pivot
like,
it to
'cause
something else.
You know,
Yeah.
you're constantly learning that stuff. So fast forward to now, like, what are you currently doing in data?
Yeah, so right now I am, what's my title? I'm the Director of Data Visualization at Lovelytics. So Lovelytics is a consulting firm based in Arlington, Virginia, and we were Tableau. So fast forward to pivot, I was in Power BI at the time, but now I'm back in Tableau world.
Okay.
So full-time in Tableau world, doing stuff with our clients and everything. But now our company Lovelytics, we were voted last year, we were the top partner for Tableau. So in essence, if Tableau can't source whatever they're doing, they outsource it to us and we do all the content and stuff for them and have the clients and do the projects for them. So work for there and it's been great. It's been really great.
Yeah. You like been busy over the pandemic, obviously. I think one of the things was like when it came to understanding data, or like when it came to understanding and analyzing data, like what was some of the first things that you would teach or say to a student?
Yeah, so it's funny you said that. The first thing I always tell students is, what problem are you trying to solve? You think about the problem you're trying to solve, regardless of the tool, whether it's Tableau, Power BI, Google Data Studio, Excel, PowerPoint, you know, all these mechanisms, because ultimately at the end of the day, data is columns and rows of information, and I'm trying to tell a story. So the biggest piece is like, what problem am I solving with this information? And when I present it, why would the person that's looking at this information care about what I'm presenting? Because then you get into lost time, right? I could have spent 30, 40 hours on this amazing dashboard that I think is great, but then the stakeholder can look at it and like, this doesn't even solve the problem I'm looking for. It just looks pretty. So, you know, start with a problem of what it is that you're trying to solve. And I think if you always keep that in mind, it makes the process easier.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have me excited for work one day. Because honestly, with when it comes to infrastructure, that's one of the things that you're looking at. Like I almost like logs I view as data as well, and trying to understand the story behind that. And really, like how I viewed it was like, it would, you know, you get thousands on thousands of pages of these things, but you have to ask yourself, what am I looking for?
Right.
Like first of all, and then helping identify what you're looking for. Kind of, I think that comes with experience.
Yeah.
Like, because I've been looking at, you know, you can look at Linux logs for a period of time and it'll all look like Spanish.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, just a different language.
Yeah,
So.
same with databases, right? Is database, here's this storage thing that's storing, you know, 5 million records.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do I care about? Like, what's important? Like, what am I searching for? And I think that's, I think, like, again, if you know the problem, what it is that you're trying to look for, that helps, you know, condense that information for you to look through.
Yeah. Now, are you remote with this new?
I am remote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it previously, I guess in your previous position, was it not remote or like?
No, it was in person, but I could do remote, but I tried to stay in person. So I was at Ryder for a year and a half where I was doing Power BI. And then before that, I was at a startup, Axial Healthcare, for about 2.5 years, and that's where I learned Tableau, and then they were definitely in person. So I got so used to being in person that when I had the ability to work from home, I didn't really use it because I was so used to being in person.
Yeah.
So when the pandemic hit, I was just like, oh man, this is an adjustment, but now I'm really used to working remote now. So the transition to get to Lovelytics wasn't that big of a learning curve in regards to just like working remote and connecting with people and talking to different people due to the pandemic. So it's just all perfect timing.
I was going to say, I was like, you need to see Sekou live if you try to. That's not one of them things you can experience over the phone, over a video call. But obviously here we are with the circumstances. So like what I was going to go into is the adjustment for you, because especially like for my example, like coming from companies that I was able to talk to developers and just really interact with them, especially when it came to me learning something new or on the job, kind of on the job training. It was way better, like being able to tap someone on the shoulder and have them take a look at it and just kind of give me advice. It's like, hey, this is what you do in these situations, but obviously now no one's always readily available. And then you've, taken the leap to a new position as well,
Yeah.
where you're, dealing with more people. So has that been an adjustment period for you, or have you found yourselves having to change like routines that you had?
So I would say that's one of the best things of the company I work for, Lovelytics, is that we're specialized in being the best at Tableau or Databricks or whatever other services we're offering. So within that mind is, because we're like-minded, it's easier to tap people of, hey, I'm stuck on this problem. Do you have 20 minutes to hop on a Zoom right quick? Or, here's some content we built out. Here's the stuff that I worked out. So we're really good at resource sharing, to where although I can't necessarily walk over and be like, hey, what are you doing right now? I can be like, Slack you right quick, like, hey, do you have time between 12 and 5 to hop on a Zoom right quick? Here's a specific thing that I'm working on, I'm stuck on. And I know you're really smart, so I trust what you're saying. So, I say all the time, where I work at, honestly, is the smartest group of people I've ever worked with a day in my life.
Yeah.
Bar none, there are so many smart people at this company that it makes it easier to tap on a shoulder, even if I don't necessarily know you, like that, where I can connect. I just be like, yo, you're really good at this. Do you have time? And it's like, yeah, no problem. So that's been really cool.
Yeah, I imagine that's a very comforting thing to say, when you can wake up and be like, hey, all the people that I work with, I trust.
Yeah.
Like with this, with the thing that we're doing, immensely. And it just kind of goes together as far as like the product. The product kind of speaks to that as well. So you've gotten this far to this point. What would you say to, obviously, when teaching as well, what would you say to developers who are trying to get to this position, or, trying to break into data analytics and don't necessarily know where to start?
I would say always be curious and always try and push yourself to the next limit. And what I mean by that is, all right, maybe you just started with Excel. What are some things you can learn in Excel at your job now that you can implement to make your processes better? Is there a report that is being run by your manager and it takes them 5 days to run, right? How can you cut that 5 down to 3 days? How can you cut that 3 down to 1 day? How can you automate some of this stuff and make a better process? And that all comes to just understanding the product better, understanding the processes, and understanding the workflows. And then two is constantly get better at what it is that you're trying to do. Yeah. So if you know Excel, okay, cool. I want to learn data visualization. What are the data visualization tools that I want to get into? I want to learn Power BI. Okay, how can you get involved in Power BI? Then go to different, community events, or start speaking, or start literally downloading and start creating projects that you're passionate about. My background is I did stuff on sports. It's easier for me to comprehend stuff on sports. So whenever I wanted to learn a certain technique that I saw like in the community, I just would do it with sports data because it's easy for me to pick up. So personal projects that you're not being paid for immediately, but you're also learning the process, helps add to that toolkit that you're building up. Yeah. Because it takes years. Like you're not going to be an expert overnight. Even though you consider me great, like I'm not great. Like I'm still learning it to this day. Like every single day, I'm learning something constantly. And I think if you have the mentality of I want to learn continuously, that will just stack up. Like everything will just stack up with the work that you put into it.
Agree. I think that speaks heavily to the mindset of the person that's coming in.
Yeah.
Like what they want and how they want, what they want to get out of it. Now that you have that, so what are some of your favorite tools and resources that you go to? Is like, all right, this is my place when I have the data itch, where I'm going to learn or like pick up.
So where am I at right now? So because I pride myself on being multi-tool, I'm tool agnostic, I don't really care. So the question that comes in, right, do you like Tableau, do you like Power BI? I don't care, whatever the client has and can help for them. So with Power BI, I go to Guy in the Cube, their YouTube video. My mentor runs it, Patrick LeBlanc and Adam Sexton. They run the channel. They push out content bi-weekly. So I go there, I look at the videos that they've been doing. They've been doing it for 5 years. So there's just a massive amount of content there. On Twitter as well, so certain hashtags and stuff that I use and look at from Power BI perspective. Same thing with Tableau. So Tableau, gotten pretty connected with that community. So I follow certain bloggers. There's the Flurgeon twins. Who else is in the Tableau community? Lovelytics. We have a lot of content. Chantilly, who is my VP, she's great. Chantilly has so much stuff on her YouTube page. And it's just a lot of things. So if you're trying to learn Tableau, if you look at the hashtag DataFam, there's a lot of people who are using that actual hashtag. So you'll see, some of the content providers that are pushing stuff out. Right now, my current project, what I'm trying to learn Python. For data analysis. So I'm trying to figure that out. My boy Chris, appreciate you Chris for taking some time out this week. He gave me a really good book to look at. It's Python for data analysis, and I'm trying to use pretty much the same process that I use for Power BI and Tableau. It's like, all right, here's this Python hashtag, here's this community, like how can I get connected with this community? Yep. Who do I need to connect with? And that's kind of what I'm doing now.
Man, okay, so what do you look for when you're trying to learn, like a new branch as far as better yourself and learning? Because Python is one of the things that I've been looking at as well. Right. Really when it comes to a lot of scripting, it's really good for Python. My mentor talks the world. Yeah. It's do everything. Yeah. Do everything. Yeah. I was like, all right. But yeah, so right now I've been on Coursera taking the AWS stuff. Yeah. But that's the obvious one. I've been trying to find hidden gems. I'll scour YouTube.
Right.
Like if you got something that's working for you.
Man, I'm literally in week 1 of trying to figure this out. So so for me, I have a specific use case that I'm going for. And that's how I learn. So it's again, what's something that's prevalent and relevant to me for it to stick? Yep. Sports. Yep. So again, the same thing for sports. So what I'm trying to do, in my career, actually, I'll backtrack on my career. My career, I started more on the front end. So I was doing more client presentations and speaking and creating visualizations with data that was given to me. Mm-hmm. So as I've progressed in my career, I'm trying to go further back upstream to where I understand data modeling, data engineering. And now with Python, I want to learn how to actually grab it myself. Yeah. So that, I'm a one-stop shop. I know how to pull it from an API, but then I also know how to present it to the stakeholders. Yeah. So the use case that I have now specifically is how do I grab NBA stats from an API? How do I get in the format, whether it's just a CSV or whether I'm doing any modeling or whatever, how do I actually write the code, script it, automate it? It runs every single day. I have updated data on the information that I have, et cetera, et cetera. So that's learning that will then translate to other things, but I just want to learn how do I connect to an API and script this right now, and that's the starting point for me.
One step at a time. Yeah, because I think my server side skills are lacking when it comes to the knowledge of things I know in the tech space, and so that's one thing that it's become blatantly clear that hey, this is a blocker for you. You need to get better at this, and it always hits you when you get to that point where it's it's a good feeling because there's never not anything to learn. Right. But it's also you look at the hill and it's all right. Well,
no, for real.
Let's walk up this one step at a time.
Now, I have a fear of being irrelevant. So I have a fear of although I know Tableau, I know Power BI, which is why I want to know both those tools, right? Most people know one or the other. They're either all Tableau, they're all Power BI. But now it's how do I branch out and then even become more diversified? So now it's all right, let me pick up Python a little bit, or let me learn a little bit of R. Although I know SQL, but it's just how do I keep adding on to this skill set to stay relevant? And that's ultimately the driving force for me because I want to stay relevant in this space.
And this, you're always in an industry that quenches your thirst when it comes to, you did this?
Right, nothing. No, we have a whole new batch of people who come in and done it 3 times better than what you can do. So it's how do you stay relevant in that? Yeah, you said it. You hit the nail right on the head, man.
So you talk about sports and data. My cousin, he is he's an assistant coach or one of the trainers for his team, and he talks about going back and watching film after a lot of their college games. And he I can't remember the name of the company. I was like, maybe you'll know it, but in essence, they're able to go back and watch intricate levels of plays, and they have it to where it's searchable as far as I want to see how many turnovers this person had. I want to see how many times this guy shot off the dribble or shot a 3 in the corner. And I was like, wait, y'all can just type that in at this point. Wow. And now that I'm now talking to you, I was like, of course they're able to kind of connect some of this stuff. Has it gotten so intrinsic? I don't know. I feel how granular does do you get in data, or can you get in data?
Well, because storage is becoming cheaper, you can store a lot more. So your granularity can be really granular because it's relatively inexpensive in regards to what it used to be. So, you know, with Snowflake or AWS or Azure, all these different like cloud computing sources, you can store, you know, infinite amounts of data. Where the challenge is, and the people who are, you know, creating natural language or machine learning or what all these, you know, algorithms, is how can you turn that stuff into questions that people would ask, and that's where the people get paid the big bucks for. So it's like those developers who know how to turn, like, honestly, just raw information into common questions that people can ask, or who create those programs, like, they're really good.
Is there a title for that?
I think unofficial, don't yell at me in the comments if you're here. Unofficially, there could be some data scientist stuff potentially there. There could be some people who specialize in machine learning. There could be some people who specialize in natural language, which is you type in a question to your data and then it comes back specific. Your results are specific to what you typed in. Right. So, you know, those are some of the titles off the top of my head. If you have an official title, please don't yell at me. I don't know what it is. But put it in the comments. Like, let us know if there is an official title for that, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
Because, like, ultimately, they're like the medium or the ambassador between the language and the human.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I'm trying to put it together.
Yeah.
I was like, obviously, so that would mean regex. Like,
I think so.
Kind of like,
yeah, but again, I don't know the behind the scenes, right? There's a natural language component. What makes up natural language, I don't know. But I do know there's a component where I'm typing in, literally, I have this data set that I pulled in. Tableau and Power BI both have this capabilities where you can type in a sentence and then it pulls back metrics or graphs or charts based on what you type in. The behind the scenes that runs that engine, I don't know what runs that.
Okay. Oh man, that's, you know, another thing that.
Yeah, it's so much stuff behind the scenes that just make life easier, but just like, I don't know. I haven't spent time on that.
So what's your plans like as far as this year? I know we're at a, I don't know, I feel like a tweening stage or the endemic as far as the pandemic.
Yeah.
Hopefully be able to move around a little bit more. Like if that's possible. I know you're a conference guy as well. You do.
Yeah, I do conferences. I have a 1-year-old. So I'm actually at home way more. So I'm actually enjoying the kind of slowness and being able to see her walk and now run around the house. So honestly, man, this year, the focus is I have this talk where I am talking to Tableau user groups and showing them introductory Power BI.
Okay.
And I'm doing the opposite end. I'm going to Power BI user groups and I'm introducing them to Tableau. And what the why behind that is that I want users to stop thinking about product specific and start thinking about problem specific, right? Here's two different tools that I have at my disposal who are market leaders. How can I leverage these tools to, in essence, do what I need to do? Right. So that's my goal. Like, I'm trying to bridge that gap between the two product communities, and that's kind of my driving force. And then right now we're actually doing this challenge online. So if you're on Twitter, me and my friends Alan and AJ Starks, we did it last year. It's called a Du Bois challenge. So W.E.B. Du Bois, he was a fantastic data visualization person. Really, the stuff he created in the 1900s is killing stuff I've seen today. So we've done this challenge. We did it last year, the first year, but basically we recreated his visualizations using modern tools. Big community, the R community came in, Python, Tableau, Power BI, using modern tools to create his data visualization. So right now we just started off this week, Du Bois Challenge 2022, that's the hashtag, so DUBOIS Challenge 2022. So if you're in data viz community, search that up on Twitter, and you know, we have all the rules and stuff in place. It's a 10-week challenge. We got 10 visualizations. We're recreating them with modern tools, so that's the focus too as well. So those are two big initiatives on top of working for Lovelytics as well and continuously to grow that company. So yeah.
Well, Seiko is like you never left, man. Like you never dropped off, you know what I'm saying? Like continuing to learn, continuing to find ways to challenge yourself, and continuing to incorporate it in your passion. I think that's the, you know, the spirit of this industry, and what we all try and do. Like just kind of make it work for us, and then show it to somebody else. Yeah. Like once we do it, show it to somebody else. Congratulations on the newborn, man.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Look, he said, Papa now, he said we got some we got prioritizing.
Yeah. But it's been good. It's been good. She has shown me what is relevant and what matters in life.
Yeah.
So I could spend 24 days an hour in Python and R and whatever, but at the end of the day, I got this little girl here, and I'm gonna spend time with her, and that's what matters the most. So.
Hey. So I think that is a excellent stopping point for us. Kenny, I don't know how to do that.
So Trevor, man, I just want to say it's been a pleasure watching you grow was it 2 years ago we met? Mm-hmm. And seeing your path to being a leader and also a teacher and what you're doing outside of just this, like everything that you got going, everything you're growing, like it's been amazing to watch. Like a lot of y'all don't know, but like I need inspiration, and I watch like what the younger people are doing as well. Mm-hmm. So seeing the path that you're doing, seeing the drive and the passion, and doing it for the right reasons and doing it the right way, that drives us. So I just want to say appreciate all that you're doing. Thanks for inviting me to this. This has been amazing, and just keep running, man. You're crushing it. So right. You're a really good guy in the community. So I appreciate it.
Every success that has come to me has been from the people that I've surrounded myself with, and that's why it's always a pleasure to like obviously spotlight y'all, but. You know what I'm saying? Get to know you as well, because I always end up pulling things that I can take like Monday to work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just like right after this. And so like, I know how to implement and analyze some data.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring it. I'm going to probably like, look what I learned. Yeah. Where you get that from? Stay cool talking.
There you go.
So, man.
Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah. That is our show, Black Codes. I'm gonna get through this. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Follow us on all of our platforms: YouTube, Instagram. YouTube is the Black Codes. I think that's just it. No underscore or anything like that. Calvin gonna kill me when he watches. And the Instagram is the Black Codes as well. I'll put on the screen. Okay. Sure. Thank you so much, Kenny.
I forgot to give a shout. My Instagram. Dang.
Yeah. No. This is the moment.
Oh, am I too late? Am I still in? All right. So Sekou. All platforms. SQLSEKOU. Sequel Sekou. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know TikTok, but I created one just in case I learned.
You got a TikTok?
Yeah, I haven't posted anything. I suck. YouTube, I just needed the name, man. All the same branding. So I have a blog, sequelsekou@gmail.com. If you need me, if you're in the data analytics space, hit me up. More than happy to help out. Okay. So also, if you're looking for resources, if you're in the Power BI community, Patrick LeBlanc, P. LeBlanc on Twitter, Guy in a Cube on YouTube. He's a bald-headed black man with a beard. He's fantastic. Follow him. That's my big bro / mentor. And then Ryan Wade, don't know his social media handles, but Ryan's great as well. And then Jonathan Stewart, major shout out to Jonathan Stewart. Those three black men, literally I met them 6 years ago, and they've impacted my life, and they're the reason where I'm at today. So those three people, amazing stuff in the Power BI community. They're great people, so follow them. And Chantilly, my bad, I got one more. Chantilly Juggernaut. She's the VP of Lovalytics. She's the reason I went to Lovalytics. She was my mentor 3 years ago. The coldest person I've ever seen in data visualization. Jag is her Twitter handle. Look her up also on YouTube and YouTube. She's on Twitter, on YouTube. Jag, Chantilly, she's great. Love you, Chantilly, you're great.
You weren't playing. You got some heavy hitters.
Yeah, that's all I got. I think that's all I got. Yeah.
To the Black Codes community, happy Black History Month. To everyone out there, thank you, Build Technology, for allowing us to use this space. Thank you, Sydney, for giving us access. Look, Calvin, we're gonna get some photos in. I promise. Like, I'm not gonna fail you this time. I did not forget. And shout out to, of course, Kenny Mack for keeping this professional. He gonna make us look good on camera. Like, I guarantee you, it was so many mess ups, but like, he gonna have it right. And that's a wrap. Stick to the code. Stick to the code.
Stick to the code.
Like, subscribe, follow, and comment.
And comment.
Man, there's so many ways to interact. Thank y'all again.